So what we have here is called the Kali Linux. That's the terminal. The one we had earlier is Ubuntu. We have the Debian. We have so many of them, but the difference is just that this, which is the Kali, is mostly used by hackers because they have more tools that enable them to hack. So most guys in cybersecurity enjoy using this particular app. Why is this? I want this to be hidden. So most guys in cybersecurity will prefer to use this Kali because Kali is already loaded with a lot of tools that allow them to hack into systems and servers. Whereas people, developers, mostly enjoy using this. So most of them act the same way. So when you say ls, it gives some results. If you still say ls in this other side, you still get some results. But I've not been using this for a long time because I mostly don't do cybersecurity. What I do is more of data science and web dev. So I mostly use the Ubuntu. But like I said, the commands are almost the same. Like at the beginning, they are the same, but over time, you start seeing some differences in their usage. Although whatever you have in your Kali Linux, you can also install in your Ubuntu and still have the same experience. So for today, we'll be using I don't know, should we use the Kali or the Ubuntu?
Let's use Ubuntu.
Okay. So let's work with Ubuntu, and I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this for now, and we just work with Ubuntu. So now there are a few things I would like you to know about Ubuntu and Kali. Do we have more persons now in the room? Okay, just the two of us. Okay, no problem. Do we wait for them or we should carry on?
Let's carry on. It's already 22 past 8.
Yeah, okay. So now, for Ubuntu, for all of them, there are just a few things I would like you to know. Let me clear. So I would like us to start from navigation. Now, navigation simply means moving from one folder to the other. Just like if you were on our normal system, if I want to open this file, this is called Flask. I'm going to double click this, and double clicking this means I want to open this. So this file opens with all this folder opens with all the files inside it. Then this is also a folder. I can click on this folder and I'll enter another folder which has some files or even folders inside it, right? Now, if you're working with the terminal, you don't have this graphical interface where you can click around and move from one place to the other. All you are able to do is to issue commands that will do exactly the same thing the other one was doing for you. So here, I'm going to issue a command. Now, there are a few things you need to know. We have our home directory, just like if you on your system takes you to the desktop.
Yes.
So this is the desktop. That's where your system lands you, but that's not the only folder in your system. So if I want to trace further, I can come back to my files. I'll move back from our desktop. So this is our desktop. Here is our desktop. So everything we have on the desktop should appear. If you look at it, you see where I have Bob. Bob is here, Bootstrap, Django, and the rest of them. So once you on your system, it brings you to your desktop. The same thing happens when you're working with the terminal, but the terminal doesn't take you to the desktop. It takes you to what we call home directory. So the home directory is more like your desktop. So now, inside your home directory, what you see, all these ones you see appearing in blue are folders, just like we have folders on our desktop. So these are folders, and if I want to enter these folders, what should I do? If I want to enter these folders, then I'll click them open. But here, if I want to enter this folder, I'll simply use a command that says change directory. I'll simply use a command that says change directory. So change directory will simply take me to the directory where I want. So if I want to enter the directory Flask, I'm going to cd into Flask. So if I do this, nothing happens. But if you watch my terminal, you find out that I had before I had, if I clear. So before now, before I issued this command change directory, I was just on my desktop and there was nothing attached. But after I changed directory to Flask, you see that Flask is now included, telling us that we are inside the Flask directory. So now what I see is different from what I used to see when I was in my home directory. So I'm going to come back to my home directory. This is my home directory again. If I want to enter that Flask, I'll simply do what? Change directory. And where do I want to change into? I'll change directory into my Flask. So once I change directory into Flask, what becomes available to me are the files inside Flask. I don't know if you followed what I'm doing.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. So now I'm currently inside my Flask directory. And there's something we call child and parents directory. So the child directory is a directory that is contained inside the directory. And of course, in Linux, what they call folders is directory. They don't, mostly when you see people interacting in Linux, they are not going to be saying folder. You hear them say directory. So what a directory means is simply a folder. So I've seeded into a folder. So just the way we have a file, a folder, like let me get to the desktop. So inside this desktop, I have a folder, this Flask, or let me say Django. If I click on Django, I'm going to see another folder. So this folder, front end, math statistics, Docker, etc., are children directory. You can call this a child directory to Django because it is living inside Django. So just the same way, if you come back to your command line, when we have a folder inside a folder, we call that folder a child directory. So the folder before the folder, or the folder just one step above the folder, is called the parents directory. So now if I do ls, I'm going to have, let me do ls-a. ls-a means list all things, because in Linux, we have this concept of hidden files and non-hidden files. So not all files are immediately visible to you in Linux. Some files are hidden, like this one that says .gitignore is hidden. This one that says ... is hidden. This one that says ... is hidden. So the dot refers to our current working directory. So our current working directory is where we are, which is the Flask, right?
Yes.
So we are inside the Flask. That's our current directory. Now, the parent directory to our Flask was our home directory, which is ... So if I want to go to ... or if I want to go to our parent directory, I'm going to just do what? cd ... So cd ... takes me back to where we were. Now, our home directory, like I showed you, our desktop is not like now I'm on the desktop, or let me just come back to the desktop. So if I'm on the desktop, it doesn't mean the desktop is the only, the desktop has a parent directory. So I can decide to take a step up. I've moved away from the desktop. I'm now in a directory. So this is our local disk called C. So inside our C, we have our users. From the users, I'm going to enter excellently. You see, I'm moving from the users. I'm moving from C, which is the root directory, to excellently, from excellently to desktop. So desktop is a child directory to some group of, it has some parent directory. So the same way, when we are on the command line, our home directory, it has other directories that are housing it. So now that I've said cd ... which means I've moved a step up. If I now ls, we are going to see a lot of things, which is now JSE, ALX. Okay, I think I'm back to, let me see the ... I moved away now. So now you can see Michael, you can see Ubuntu. I can also see cd ... So the more I take, I do cd ... is the more I go to more parent directories. So I'm still going to do another cd ... ls. So if I cd into this is the root directory. So here, which I call the root directory, is more like our C, our C file. Like this is the root, this is the beginning of our directory. So from here, everything is constituted, and this place is not safe for people who are just learners, because this is where you have your configuration files. This is where you have so many things, so many programs that are running this Linux are here. And in Ubuntu or Linux, they assume whoever is using it knows what he's doing. So whenever you issue a dangerous command, most times it's not going to give you a warning, it will just execute it. Like I can decide to delete the whole operating system which we are working on here, although it will require some permission. So now I am going to come back to our home directory by just saying cd. So when you issue the command cd without any other parameter, what it means is that you want to come back to our home directory. So I'm back to our home directory, which is where we used to be. So I don't know, do you have any question, or you want to reiterate anything I have said?
Okay, I've seen all you have done.
Yeah.
So I want to understand those directories that you have, the parent and the child directory that you have.
Yeah.
How did you face and get them before you start working on them?
Okay. When you install or when you buy a new system, like let me demonstrate that with, because I've not been working with the Kali distribution, but I think I've closed it. Now, when you buy a new system, the system comes with some folders, some files. Like I was not the one that created my desktop. You get? I was not the one that created my desktop, and inside the desktop, we have some folders that are called users and so many other configuration files. You are not the one that created some of them, though your desktop might be clean, but there are already some files in your system that you did not create, which some of them are program files, some of them are configuration files. So those are the ones that come with the system itself. And as we advance, I'll be showing you what those things do. Now, you can also create your own, which we'll be doing in this class. You can also create your own. So some of them come with the environment. Some of them are created like this desktop. I was not the one that created the desktop. And if I decide to go up a bit, I was not the one that created these documents. If you find out, if you watch, you see that your system comes with these documents as a folder. It's a folder. It comes with downloads. It comes with music, pictures, and videos. If you just buy it. So these are the ones that come with your operating system. But you can now put things inside them or remove things inside from them. So they come with the system. And I want to fire up that Kali, because I've not been using Kali, which means it's still clean. So that's how they come, but you can create some yourself. So like now, I think ls. Okay, like now, this is my desktop if I'm using the Kali. If you look at it, you see that from where I'm supposed to be using, nothing is there. But if I just take a step back, cd dot dot, and do ls, you see that mic is there, cd dot dot again. You find out that I have the binary files are like your executable, the dev, you have your home files, you have so many other things. Oops, I'll be showing you what all these things are used for. Or the vals, like when you start doing some crazy things, and your etc. These are where you do some crazy configurations. So that's how it works. So now, I don't know for others, if you are just joining, maybe you can just say hi. So we know you are here. You can say hi and also introduce yourself.
I am back. It's me, Follow. I am back.
Yeah, I was just checking, and you were not there.
Okay, so please, I have a question. My network has been messing up. I have a question too. That thing we brought out on your system,
Yeah.
is that you said it's Kali, right?
Yeah, this one is Kali distribution.
But
the other one is
but the
Ubuntu.
one the one they were using majorly for on the cyber security
Security.
on the Google is
Yeah.
yes, is Linux. Linux.
Yeah, they are all Linux, but we now have distributions of Linux.
Okay.
Yeah. Distributions of Linux, like
Okay,
now
yes.
we have the Debian distribution, we have the Kali distribution,
Yes.
we have the
Okay.
Ubuntu. Now, most professionals use some, like people who are into web development, who like people running servers, mostly use this one we are using, Ubuntu.
Okay.
People who are hackers, especially people who do penetration testing now, hackers love using Kali. The reason is
Okay.
Debian. I mean, some people like using Debian, and so many Fedora. There are a lot of them. So now, people using Ubuntu, I mean, people using Kali. Kali comes preloaded with some executable, some softwares. Like once you install Kali, it already comes with a lot of softwares that allow you hack easily if you learn how to hack.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
Ubuntu comes with a lot of, it's stable, it's very, very stable. It comes with a lot of softwares that will allow you host your systems, that will allow you host your databases, that will allow you do a lot of things that you get to learn maybe later if you are going to continue with this. So,
Okay, so
yeah. So,
my other question is,
okay.
I'm seeing this LSTD. I saw it on Linux. I'm
Yeah,
seeing it here now on Kali. Does it mean they use same language, same commands? That's the word.
they use exactly the same command, but like I said,
All of them.
yeah, at the beginning, not like they basically use the same command. They use the same, mostly when it comes to navigation. Your navigation is going to be the same thing, but it gets to a point where they are no longer the same thing. Like now, if I am running in my Ubuntu, I should have Ubuntu should be able to have Splunk. Kali should be able to have Splunk. So if you are running Splunk in Ubuntu and running Splunk in Kali, the commands are going to be exactly the same thing. But there are some things you can do with Ubuntu that you cannot do with Kali. And there are some things you can do in Kali that you cannot do with Ubuntu. So when you are doing those things in Kali, the command becomes different because it is not in Ubuntu.
Okay, so you're saying that they might have same kind of command, but they don't work same way on the same, no, not on the same, on their different platform, right? I'm trying to place my question well so you can understand. Are you there, sir?
I'm with you. Now for
So,
the
using,
if you're just starting
go
out,
ahead.
yeah, if you're just starting out, yeah, the commands are going to be exactly the same thing. Like now, if I do ls, you saw what ls did for me. It listed, ls means lists all the items we have here. If I give the same command here, ls, it will list all the things we have there. Now, I am not on my home directory here, so I'm going to go to my home directory by using cd, just cd. So cd takes me to the home directory so that when I do ls, nothing is shown because I've not been using Kali. I'm more of a web dev.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I do security because I need to secure my server. I need to secure my database and some other stuff. But I'm not like what do you guys call it? I'm not a cybersecurity engineer.
Okay.
Yeah. So now for the basic parts, they work the same. When you do cd, what cd does for me, cd is to return me to my home directory. But like I said, I don't use this Kali that much, so most of my files are here. I don't have any file here. So now let's create a file or directory. I'm going to create a directory. Let me just say make there, and I'm going to call that directory roots hub, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. ls. I'm not create directory. ls. Okay. Make there. Let me just call roots hub 1. So what I've just done is I've created a directory called root hub 1. It's a folder.
1. Yeah.
Now, if we now list, we are going to see root hub 1 is like I already had the root hub created. Maybe
did one now. You just did it now.
Yeah, this one is now root hub 1. So on Kali, I'm still going to do the same thing, which was make there root hub 1. So the output is going to be the same thing. When I now do ls, I now have root hub 1. So if I want to remove that root hub, I'm going to do rm root hub 1. It cannot remove because it's a folder. So I'm going to rm -r because it's a folder root hub 1, and it goes. So here again, if I want to remove that root hub, if I do rm root hub 1, it's still not going to remove because it's a folder. So it says the same thing, cannot remove root hub 1 is a directory. So if you look at them, they are basically doing the same thing at this point, but it gets to a point where Kali will have some advantages depending on what you're doing, and at some point Ubuntu will have some advantages. Some people also use Fedora and the rest. There are a lot of distributions. You know, so it depends on what you will be doing. Like some of the commands that are available here, there are some tools that are available in Kali that you can't get in Ubuntu, and there are also some tools you have in Ubuntu that you can't get in Kali. So the difference now becomes when I'm using those tools that are in Ubuntu but not in Kali, the command I use to use those tools will be different from the command I'll be using here, because this one doesn't even have it. I mean, Kali doesn't even have it in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can also install some services you have in Kali inside Ubuntu and run them exactly the same way you run them in Kali. You can also as well install some services you have in Ubuntu in Kali, but the difference is once you install Kali, it comes with some tools which enables you hack easily. Whereas this one comes with some tools which enables you run applications easily, host applications easily. Yeah.
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
So for ethical hacking, which of the distribution would you advise somebody should learn?
No, if you're going to be doing hacking, Kali is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, Kali is the way to go. But Kali is not my thing because I'm not an ethical hacker. Okay. You understand? But basically, like you learning any of them gives you, like, once you learn this one, you basically learn the other one. But you may not know, like now, there are so many tools that are available in even the Ubuntu I use that I don't still know because it's big. There are a lot of tools available here. There are some that you can also install. It's just a difference of how this one looks and how this one looks. And this is more stable. This is rugged. Ubuntu is rugged. It can handle so many stuffs. It can handle a lot of, like, you can run large databases here. You can host large applications. You can scale applications. You can do a lot of things. In fact, mostly, if you are not looking at penetration, doing a lot of those things, if you want to be doing more of architecture, Ubuntu is the way to go because it handles that very well. So for now, there's basically no difference. In fact, it will take you long to start seeing the difference in the both. It might take you up to 2 years of steady coding to now start seeing the difference in the both. So now let's get back to what we are doing. Now, I was trying to explain to you how to navigate. You know, here we are not seeing, there's no click, and in fact, it's because I had a hack. I had to hack this. It's not like I had to hack it. If you're running on Windows and you install Terminal allows your mouse to start working. But ordinarily, if you're in an ideal command line environment, your mouse is not supposed to work. So whatever you do it on the keyboard. There's no room for mouse. So now, I don't know, before you came, because you were the first person that came, let me just quickly go over what we've done. Now we are talking about navigations. So clears the screen. The same thing for this. I'm going to still say clear. And everything goes.
Okay, sorry, I have another question.
Okay.
Can you just clear just one line instead of clearing the whole command like you just did?
No.
What if I just want to clear one line? Just one line.
No, you can't clear one line. But you can go up, like now, you can go back to all you wanted by using your arrow up. The more you press your arrow up, it will keep bringing your command histories, all the commands you've been. I think the max is 1,000 distance. So you can go up. See, when we started.
Okay, like what I mean is you were typing a lot, and then you were supposed to type probably ls just like this. You were supposed to type echo, when I went to type ls.
Yeah.
Can I go back and clear that ls, or can I just continue and type my ls to get what I want?
Yeah, once
You
you
understand my
do
question?
clear does not clear a single line, it clears everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it clears everything. You can't clear one line. But like what I said, you can go back to those stuffs by using your arrow up. Like if I need this now, I can still go up and hit the command run. It will run. Once you hit enter, it runs the command again. So now what I was trying to explain is how to navigate this command line. So from here, when you do cd without any parameter, it returns you to your home directory, which is more like your desktop. From the home directory, if you want to get into any other directory, like now, if I do ls, I'm going to see all the directories and folders I have on my system. So now let's say I want to enter Django. I can simply say cd, which is change directory. So a folder in all these Ubuntu Linux is called a directory. So if you want to change directory, if you want to enter another directory, that means you want to change from the directory where you are to another directory. So I can say cd, let's say, which one should we enter? Let's say skillsync.
Root up.
Okay, root hub. So let's say cd root hub. Let's enter the one we created. So you know nothing is in that our root hub. So we are now in our root hub. In order to see all the items inside our root hub, I'm going to do what? ls, which means lists items in our directory. So when you do ls, it will list all the items in your directory. And because we don't have any item in it, nothing is shown. But there's something inside it, which is another folder. Now that's a hidden folder. The folder dot is our current working directory. The folder dot dot is our immediate parent directory. So what I mean by parent directory, you know, we moved into dots, we moved into root directory from our home directory. So if I say this cd, I am back to just this place. That's my desktop without the root hub, right? So that's cd.
Sorry, start it again. I'm lost. Please start again.
Okay, I said we have dots and we have dots. So what dot means is our current working directory. Dot means our parent working directory. So what a parent working directory means is, let me show you an instance. So here I have Bob, or let me go to Bootstrap or Django. Let's say Django is a folder, or we call it directory. Inside this Django, you know, Django is living inside our desktop, right? So the parent directory of Django becomes desktop. Now, if I step into Django, I have other files. I have some files. I'm now inside Django. So Django now has front end. So front end is a directory, but the parent directory of front end is Django. So let me step into front end. I'm now inside front end, but if you look at this, we moved from Django into front end. I don't know if you can see.
Okay. Okay, so let me understand what you're saying in a layman language, please.
Okay.
You're saying when you mean parent, it means the bigger box, right?
Yeah, the bigger box.
Front end is the smaller guy in the bigger box, which is front end is the directory in the parent of Django. Did I get that correct?
Yeah. Front end is a directory inside Django. Django is a directory. Front end is a directory, but because front end is inside Django, Django now becomes the parent directory, while our current directory, that's where we are currently, as at when we moved into that, was front end. So we have the same concepts in we have the same concepts here. So now in Ubuntu, both Ubuntu, Linux, in fact in Linux, when you see dots, what dot means is our current working directory. When you see dot, what it means is our parent directory. So now parent directory. So ls, okay, I'm in the other side. Ls, so here we are. I am back in, so let me cd into root hub. I'm now in our root hub. So if I want to ls, you see, if I run ls, nothing shows. Okay, cd dot dot ls cd cd root of 1 ls. So this is our root of 1. Nothing is showing. I can clear the screen. Now, if I want to pick anything if I want to go back to my parents working directory, I can just do cd dot dot, which means I want to take a step back. So it returns me to where we were before, and we have all the things we had before, right? I don't know if we got that.
No, I did not. Please come again.
Okay.
You
Now,
said this dot dot. The dot dot, is it a step forward or a step backward?
you dot dot means your parents directory. That's what it means. So if you want to go back to, if you just want to take a step backwards, why am I not seeing this? Okay. Like now, ls, we are in our home directory, which is more like our desktop. Let me make another directory inside root directory, root of 1 larger, let's say new directory.
Hello, can I?
Okay, yeah.
Hello,
Yeah, I'm with you.
are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Hello, I can hear
please.
you. Yeah.
Don't you have place you can see them?
No, you can't see them
But on the list. Can't you see them on the desktop?
No. Okay, now if you want us to work on the desktop, so
Hello, did you get it?
yeah. If you want us to see them on the desktop, look at what is happening. I got your question. If you want us to see them on the desktop, right? I need to move away from
Okay.
it because now what we are running is a virtual machine. So what a virtual machine means is I have my Windows system, my Windows operating system, and I have another second operating system running on it. So this one is living on its own ecosystem. It's not living in our Windows machine.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever we are doing here lives here, and it's good for me and for any other person because anyone can come to your system, do whatever he's doing, and not see your files. No matter what you try, you can't see my files unless you spin up my this thing. So, but if you want to interact with the Windows machine, then I'm going to do what? I'm going to open that in Ubuntu. So this is, I've opened another one. So now whatever we'll be doing is on our desktop. So I've been able to access that. Let's close the other one and make do with this so that you'll be seeing ls now. So when I list now, you see everything I have on my desktop there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a folder inside that desktop that we'll be working on. So it becomes easier for us to be seeing what we are doing live, right? This is what you're asking for now.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So now,
yes, I get it.
Yeah. Now, what we are working on is our desktop now. So I'm going to create a folder, make there. What do we call it? Let's call it now the root hub. So we call it root hub. Now, immediately, I don't know if you saw that root hub. If I remove it, rm-r root hub, that should go. So it deletes it, right?
Okay.
So yeah. So now let's make it again so that we just sit on that root hub and do whatever we are doing. I'm going to run that command again, make the root hub. So it creates root hub for us. Now I'm going to cd into that root hub. It's good. I love your suggestion because it makes us see what we are doing. So inside this root hub, nothing is there unless we now decide to now put, let me drag this into root hub. So that is now living in root hub. And if I do ls again, I am now seeing that stuff that I put there. So let me remove it from there. You see, web development with Node.js, that was what I put there. If I remove it now, it's gone, and I close this. If I do ls again, it's not going to see it because nothing is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now, so like the concept of we having a directory, a parent directory and a child directory, I can now do make there. Sorry, make there. What do we call the child directory now? What can we call it?
Linux in root hub.
Okay, Linux in root hub. So I have Linux in root hub. Let's check if we have a thing like that now. So you see, inside that directory, we have another directory, Linux in root hub. So this one is now a child directory. If we open this, you see, we are inside our current working directory. From what we open graphically is Linux in root hub, but it is living inside our root hub. So this is the this is the parent directory. This is the our current working directory. So I'm going to close it and come back here. So now ls, we still have nothing in Linux in root hub. So I can also create another folder and say make there just okay. Now, if you notice, let me just for illustration. So I want you to ask me why I'm not just writing just for illustration. So here, when I do ls, I now have to. Yeah, I wanted you to ask a question because if you watch, there's a way I name my folders or directories.
Okay, for directories.
Yeah.
The parent directory you say is root hub, and then inside root hub.
Yeah.
And then what should you want?
No, I wanted you to.
Which question are you expecting from us?
Instead of Linux in root hub, I am writing Linux _ root hub, and that was the same thing I did for this. So there's a good reason for that. The reason is the reason is, and I want you to also get in this habit of writing like this, because if I don't do that, if I just say make there, let me do something, make there, why make there. So let's say Linux. I intentionally spelled it wrongly, and I now type and I now type Debian. If I hit enter, watch what happens. If I now do ls, I've created two different directories. We have Linux or Linux, we have Debian now. So that was why I couldn't just write Linux in root hub, separating them. I must bring them together with either a dash or an underscore, or I string them together. If you space them together, you are referring to two different things. So it will create two different directories for you. So once I try to step into this, I'm going to see what Debian, Linux, just for illustration, then the first one we created. So all these folders or directories are living inside our root hub. Of course. So what can I do if I want to create a folder that has different names and I don't want to use that? So if you want to do that, I can do what? Make there. I'll say Linux. So in this case, you're going to bind them with a string. That's what do you guys call it? Double quote. So I'm going to do double quote and say Linux and Debian. So this way, I am referring to one folder. So if I ls now, we have, you see this one now come together. Both of them are together. They are not like single, the way we had Debian and Linux initially. So now we have them coming together, but they are binded with a single quote. But it is not good to write like this, because if I want to refer to these, I'll have to always remember to bind them with double quotes. So it's not a good practice.
Okay.
It's not a good practice. So now coming back, let me keep this to the other side. Yeah, let me keep it to this other side and just have our, so we can be seeing what we are doing. So coming back here, now we've been able to create several folders, and these folders, now if I want to go into any of those folders, I simply do what? CD into that folder. So if I do CD and I want to enter Debian, I'm going to say CD and follow it with Debian. So once I do this, I'll enter Debian. Now, if I run my ls, nothing is contained in Debian because we did not put anything in Debian. So how do we create a file? To create a file inside Debian, I am going to do what? Touch. Touch means create a file. So I'm going to do touch our file.txt. This is the extension. So once I do this, now if you're working with command line,
Please, pardon. I couldn't see the time you're typing, the command you are executing. I couldn't see the time you are writing it. I just see the output.
What I did was touch our file.txt. This is a text file. This is a text file. Touch our file.txt, creates an empty file. So let me open that file again. Let me shut down some of them. I don't know if we are following. If you have any question, you can ask so that we don't keep running and running. I mean for others. So if we go into this now, you find out I've created a file called our file.txt. That was in Debian, right? So inside Debian, I have an empty file called our file.txt, which we can open and type things inside. But we are not supposed to still touch anything graphics. We are still supposed to do everything from there. So I can otherwise say ls. Now we have our file.txt. I can do what? Vi. I like using Vi. Some people use what's the other one? People use different text editors inside this. In my phone is kind of ringing. I'm coming. My phone is ringing. Okay. So now, if I want to, what I use is Vi. People use, I've forgotten this one that is popular that people use. So if I want to enter that file, I can just open that file. You know, if you want to open a file, you click it on your graphical interface, it opens. But here, if you want to open a file, you just do, I'm using Vi. So I'll Vi into that file. I'm going to Vi our file.txt. It opens it, and because the file has been empty, nothing is contained. So here I can just say the bank, which is being bashed, and I'll say this is our new file, and I'll close that. Hold on. So this is our new file.
Sorry, sir. How do you save your work in this card? Like, you know, Windows is Control S. How do you save it?
Okay, that's what I'm coming to that. Why is this jumping at me when I type? I'm coming. So it depends on what you're using. Like I said, I'm used to, and this is where I work. Like I basically code here. So this is where I work. I use Vi. You're going to choose your text editor, and Ubuntu, and all of them, they have so many text editors. I've forgotten this one that is very common among people. People use that a lot, but I find out to me that this is the one I love because that's the one I trained with when I was learning to code. So I like using this. Everything you do is command. If I want to save my work, I'm going to do what? I'm going to use a command, which is, once I'm done, I'm going to hit escape. If I hit escape, it brings up this. Why? my escape brings up this. Maybe it's also a shortcut to bring it up. So I'm going to hit escape. Escape. Now, if I get it, I don't know. Which one are you guys using so we can try using it? Have you tried to create a file there in your...
We are using Linux, sir.
Yeah, inside Linux, which text editor do you use? There's a name for it. I've forgotten the name.
Maybe I've not reached here.
Okay. So for me, if I remember the name, I'll let you know. Or I'm coming. Let me quickly check that online. Let me quickly check that online. Which easier. Editor. Let me check and see. Okay, Nano. It's Nano. So Nano is simple.
Nano.
Yeah.
So even think I was reading about it.
Yeah, it should be
I
Nano.
don't understand.
Yeah. VI or Vim is kind of complex a little bit. It will require a lot of practice to get used to it. So here, to still close or save what I've typed, I'm still going to use a command, which is going to be, all right. Something is not really working well. If I type this, it brings this up. I don't want that. So once I type this, if I want to close my work, remember, in Linux, all you do is what? Text-based. So I'm going to use a WQ. W means write. Look at this here. If you can see here, where my mouse is pointing. So W means write, which is like write whatever I've typed into the file. Then Q means quit. So once you hit enter, invalid. It's supposed to be valid, but I don't know what's happening. I need WQ. So you'll be struggling a lot with this. I'm coming. WQ. Okay, so what I did, that WQ is supposed to close my file. Now, what I did was to write and close, write and quit. That is a WQ means write and quit means whatever I've typed, save it into the file and quit. So now I've shown you how to use, be noting the commands I'm showing you. I've shown you how to use CD. You use CD to move from one file to from one folder to another. Like if I do CD ... I'll move back from Debian to root hub. So if I do LX, okay, now you've learned how to use CD. You should have learned how to use Tosh. Tosh is for you to create an empty file, right?
Sorry, there's another one. grep.
Yeah, we'll get to grep.
Okay.
But grep is kind of a bit technical. Grep is we call it a global regular expression. So for you to use grep, you need to learn some regular expressions. You use it to filter out things. Like if I want to pick things in my Linux and I want to filter out some stuffs, maybe I have a lot of files that end with .txt. I have some that end with .html. I have some that end with .sql, and I just want to pick the ones that end with SQL. I'll use grep, but it's a bit advanced for now. We can do it if you want, but I don't want us to be jumping up and down. So let's follow them.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Let's go like this.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
CD helps us to change a directory, to move from one directory to the other. Like now, I can ls CD. If I want to go back to where I was before I made my last movement, I'm going to do CD dash. So that returns me back to our Debian ls. So CD helps you move from one file, from one folder to the other. I can move from my Debian back to desktop. So if I want to move to desktop, I'm going to do CD ... You know, if we move from Debian, we are coming to root hub, right? So ... means the parent directory of this. I'm going to do /... again. So what this means is move to the parent directory of our current working directory, which is root hub. And inside this one, I want to move to desktop again. That's the other working directory. So if I run this, it returns me to desktop. If you watch, I'm now on desktop. Like I took 2 steps above. I pulled out 2 steps. If I want to come back to where we were, I'm going to do cd dash. It returns me to where we were, the Debian. So that is cd for you. Now from cd, I can
Okay,
do.
please. Sorry,
Yeah.
please. Can you explain the difference between dash and underscore? Because I
Oh.
see you're using them
Yeah.
almost same time.
Underscore. Okay, they are just the 2 different characters. Dash is a character. Underscore is another character. I really don't want us to go into. There's something you're dragging me into, which is there's something you're trying to drag me into. I don't want to go into it now because we are not doing programming. But they are just 2 different characters. But know that in Linux, you can also. I'm just using the underscore for my. I use the underscore to name my files because that's how I like using it. You can also use it. You can also use it to name other files. But if you do cd dot, cd dash, what it's telling it is to return it to where you were before you moved away. So just know this as that this is what it does. Return me to where I was before I moved away. That's what it does. I don't want to go into ASCII values. That's what you're asking me to go into. So now, we've been able to use our cd to move. But now I can also, since I'm in Debian, I can also move away from Debian to some other folders in our root hub. So what I would do is to do ls. Remember, ls, if you do ls without any other parameter, it lists the content of your current working directory. So if I do this, it's going to tell me all we have is our file. But if I want to check what is contained in our parent working directory, I'm going to do what? ls, and now passing our parent working directory, which is going to be dot dot. So with this, I am now listing the content of our parent working directory. You know, in our parent working directory, we had Debian, this, all of this. We are contained in root hub, right? So that is what it lists for me. So now, if I want to go into another file from here, I can simply say cd dot dot slash linux. So where is it going to take me? It changes from, instead of root hub slash Debian, it is now going to change from root hub to Linux. So we have moved away from where we were back into Linux. I don't know if we are following.
Fantastic. I like that. I like this command. I like this command. It's a little straightforward.
Yeah.
Because it takes you to the folder you like directly.
Yeah, it takes you to the folder you like directly. So I can even move back to where we were. If I do this cd, remember cd takes you to your home directory. And where we are is no longer our home directory. We mounted another, like we moved into another operating system completely. Everything we are doing now is on our Windows. If I want to go back to our own desktop, you can just do cd. cd returns you to our own. So now whatever we are doing is inside our Ubuntu, no longer on our window. If I create a file, it's not in our Ubuntu. So, but if I do cd dash, it returns me to where I was before I moved away. So it's going to return me back to that Windows, which is here. So now the trick is, if I want to enter any folder in desktop, I am going to calculate it. I'm going to look at my, like it requires you knowing your system very well. Like that, my Ubuntu, whenever I'm in my Ubuntu, I already know where things are because I'm the one that created them. I structured them however I wanted it to look. You understand? So it's easier for me to navigate, but I've moved into my desktop. So now if I want to go into my desktop, in my desktop, I have a folder called Django. Maybe I want to enter that Django. I'm going to do what? cd dot dot slash dot dot slash. So what am I using? The first dot dot moves me from Linux into root hub. The next one moves me into desktop, right? So now if I hit enter, it's going to take me to the desktop, but I want to enter Django. So I'm going to do Django. I don't know if it was capital D. Okay, Django. So if I hit enter now, it takes me to the desktop and inside Django, look at the Django here. This is the Django where we are.
Marvelous. I like this as well. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this one.
So from here now, if I do ls, it will list the contents of These are the contents of that Django. It has a lot of both PDFs and so many things inside. So that's this. That's where we are. It's listing all of these. And remember, when it comes to anyone, most of these files, we don't have underscore for them. So it's using a wrapper, which is that strange, to bind them together. Like this one, Django for API. You see, everything is in quotes because it's not a single file. And if I want to create a file, I can also stay wherever I am and create right inside where I am. I can create a file on my desktop. So let me do ls and clear. So I've cleared. If I want to touch or create a folder or a file in my desktop, I am going to do what? Let's create a file. I'm going to do vi, let's call it roothub.txt.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Okay, good night. We'll meet some other time. Good night.
No, I'm still here. I wasn't talking to you, so I was still here.
Okay. So let's say I want to create a folder on my desktop and I want to call it root hub again. Because I'm in Django, I want to move one step away to the desktop and create that file. So I'm going to say vi dot slash dot will take me to my desktop. That is one step to the desktop dot slash, and I'll call root hub.txt. So I've created the folder and I'm going to say shebang. I know you want to ask me why I like using that shebang. Why? Okay. So insert mode, like bin by. This is the new file we just created. So I'm going to save that. Once I save it, oh, this should stop doing that now. If I want to, my shortcut is there. So here I'm going to do SK. This is a shortcut I created. So WQ, which is write and save, write and quit. We write and quit. And if we now check, we now have that root hub.txt. And I will, maybe later on, I will teach you about extensions and why they matter, both in cybersecurity and everywhere. So this is the file we created, and that file says shebang. This is the new file we just, I spelled the just wrongly. So that's what it is. It is there. So that's that about share navigation. Maybe when we have more classes, because I can't possibly have all of them offhand and be doing. So the more I do it, you ask questions and we'll be explaining them. So now that's how to use your CD, right? The other stuff, we learned how to use CD. The other command we've learned is how to use ls. ls means list. So let me clear this. I can still stay within my Django and still list the content of another directory. So I'm going to do ls dot slash. So dot slash means take me to the desktop. I need to come to the desktop before I enter root hub, right? So take me to the desktop and now take me to root hub. So what I'm going to list is the content of root hub. If I hit enter, you see that what we had in our list was Debian, Linux, whatever. And I can move into any of them. So I can say cd dot slash, maybe we want to enter our words. Let's enter just for, or let's just enter our Linux. Dot slash. We'll first of all go to dot takes us to the desktop, right? Then we enter Linux.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be? Dot takes us to, okay, so dot slash. There's no Linux there, dot slash. We enter root first before we enter that Linux.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, we need to move from Django to desktop, and from desktop, we need to enter root before we enter Linux. So,
okay, so my question is, Elosa.
Yeah,
my question is, what if it's one dot cd one dot slash? What does it mean?
Okay, one dot slash means in your roots, where you are, your current working directory. Like now, we are in our Linux, right? So let's create. Let me illustrate that. Make there. Let me create make there, but I'll show you why and how you use that. Let's say make the your name is info. Let's just MFO, right? So I've created MFO.
N.
Yeah, okay, let's just leave it at that. So MF, this is sitting in our current working directory. So if I want to enter that, I'm going to say cd./m, because dot means where we are. So in where we are, enter MFO. So we are now in MFO. But instead of doing that, you can still alternatively do what? Let me hide this here. You can alternatively, let me see the dots. So I've come out. I don't know if you got that. Dot means where you are. Dot means the parent directory of where you are. So if I want to enter that, I can just say .mfo. But there's a shortcut. Instead of just saying that, you can just say cd mfo and it takes you there. There's a use case for that. Let me clear the screen and show you a use case for that. A use case for that is when you write a program in Bash or you write a program in Python and you want to run it. Let's say vi, I want to illustrate this. I'm not going to explain this because it's really, let's say vi, say my name .py, and I say that okay, this will be this will be env. Is this the lead? Why am I not getting this slide? Okay. Oh, this keeps interfering. So now I want to show you how to use that stuff you asked. So now, and I say, and I just decided that I want to keep this simple. Counter equals 5 y counter. So if I do this and stop. I have a shortcut that whenever I use it, it interferes with some other stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, ls. So now if I want to run this program, I'm going to say /. That is where we use that your /. That was what I was trying to illustrate. Okay. Oh, stop. Clear. vi ls vi say. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. So what I want to achieve is /. Say. So what I wanted to do is to write a program that whenever I run it, it will just say my name is Mike into 5 times. So how we run programs in Ubuntu is to run /. If that program is inside your working directory. So that's where you use that / that you asked. But that's not basically what we are doing for now. So now you've learned how to use your ls. You've learned how to use your cd. I think I've done numerous examples of using cd. But let's now focus on ls. ls means list all the items in our working directory or wherever you are. You can also point it to another file. So when I say ls, it lists the content of this. But if I say ls-a, it lists more. You see, now we have our dot dots this. And if I say ls-la, we have more. And I can also say ls-la-h, and I'll have more. I can as well say ls-lah, and I have some other stuff. So what is really happening with our ls? Now, when you use ls without any parameter, that's ls alone, it simply gives you the contents of your file that are not hidden. Like I told you, I can create a file and make it hidden. Like if I decide to, that might say stuff. If I decide to rename it, let me say I want to rename say stuff to dot say my name .py. So when you do ls now, because I've hidden that file, you will not see it again because it's a hidden file. So inside a directory, there could be so many hidden files for some reasons. Maybe I don't want anyone that is coming to that directory to meddle with my files. I can make them hidden. I can also deny some permissions on it, but we are not talking about permissions. So when you use ls without following it with any maybe -a, -la, it will simply list all those ones that whoever created them made visible. So I can also return that back that. So I can now say mv.say into say my name.py. So it's back. When I now do ls, you find out that that is now visible. So that's the difference between ls and ls-a. So now when you do ls-a, it means lists all. You are listing everything. Now when you say ls-a or la, what you mean is list them in long formats.
Sorry, sir, I say ls means what? ls-a. ls-a means what?
List all. List everything.
Okay.
List all. Yeah. So it lists all, both the hidden and the unhidden files. Like I just demonstrated now, I can hide a file by starting. Once you start any file that starts with dots is a hidden file. Any file that you name dot or even folder, I can also create a folder and make it hidden by using that dot. So once you use dot, it's a hidden file or a hidden folder. So now, if you use ls-a, it means list everything, both the hidden and the unhidden files. If you now do ls-al or la, it means list everything in long formats. So that long format brings us to something you need to be aware of. I don't know if I should leave this for now or we should talk about it now. So when you look at this is our current working directory. This is our parent directory, and this is the one we just created, right? So now if you look at them, you see we have this is D, this is D, and this is dash. Whenever you have a D in the long format, it is telling you that this is a folder, this is a directory. So let me illustrate that by creating another folder. I can just say make there, and I'll call that, bros, sorry, what's your name?
I'm AB Isa.
Okay, so I can decide to name that one.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I can decide to name that one Esa.
Yes.
So I can just decide to create
Okay.
a folder and call it Esa, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
why is this doing this? I keep ls. I got this, make the Esa. Now, come on, make the not found. Did you mean? Oh, okay. It's mkdir. So I've created a folder called Esa now. If I do ls now, you find out that we had one that was not a folder, which is my Python program, and we have one that is a folder. So ls now gives us your name is Esa, it's highlighted. This one is a file. But if I do ls-la, I'm asking it to give me in long format. You see, ISA is a folder, is a directory, so it starts with a D. This is not a folder, it starts with a dash. We can also have a link, but I don't want us to go into creating links. A link will start with some other stops. So whenever you list, you see D, it means...
Sorry, sir, come again. You say the one that starts with D is a directory.
It's a directory, and
Directory.
directory is just a folder, right?
It's
So
just a
that,
folder.
yeah,
Yes.
folder, yeah. Dash means it's a normal file. So if I create another file, let me say
And the one that starts with dots means it's a hidden file.
Yeah, if it starts with a dot, it's a hidden file. So if I create this, if I create, let's say, another file .txt, I will show you more about all these file extensions and why they matter. So let's make this hidden. This is also a file. It's still going to start. This one now is still going to start with a dash because it's still a file, but it's just hidden. So if I do this, now ls will list not that one, but it's there. But if I do ls-la, I am going to see that as this is another file. So it's starting with a dash because it's a file. Irrespective of, regardless of the fact that it's hidden, it's still a file. So it's not going to start with a dot. It's still going to start with a dash because it's a file. So this one starts with a D. Now there's something we call a UGO. That's how I like to. So the first one is called user. The other one is called group. The other one is called others. I will explain that later so that I don't overwhelm you. Let's just do the basic stuffs. But that is an explanation of what is happening here. When we start doing file permissions, I'll explain to you what all those things mean and how you can use them to secure whatever you want to secure. If I want to make this if I suspect that this is dangerous, this might say my name. It simply say, whenever I run say my name, it simply says my name 5 times. That's how I've written the program, right? But it could be a dangerous program that I want whoever wants to run it should be aware of what he's running. It could be a command that will wipe everything I have in my system. So in that case, I am going to remove certain permissions from some people and only grant permission to people I know who are eligible to use that or who know how to use it. So that is what all of this is talking about. If you look at this now, each file have what we call the user, the group, and the other. User, group, and other. If you look at this, we have RWX, RWX, RWX. So what all these things means is read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. That means the user can read, he can write into this file, he can execute this file. The group can read this file, can write into this file, can execute this file. So we have all the permission. Now, the same thing applies to that my Python this thing. But if I decide to make this inexecutable, I can just say chmod. We'll come to that -x say. So after this, if I now do lx-la, watch what happens to that. Where is that my Python file? Something is not right. Something is not right. Okay. Something is not right. Let me say you. All right. So, okay. Okay, I know what is happening. You know, like I told you, we are working on what we are doing is inside our Windows environment, right? So there are some privileges you enjoy in your Ubuntu that you can't enjoy. Like I can't make, this is why Ubuntu Linux is very powerful. I can't make a file inexecutable here. That's why if I issue that command, it's still coming out. So let me illustrate that by going to, I'm going to CP, I'm going to move this I'm going to cd, let me copy this first. I'm going to move this, or let me just rewrite cd. I'm back to my own, to the Ubuntu itself. So I'm going to create that file again. So vi say.py. or let me even write it in bash, say dot sh. So this is now the bash script bin bash. So now I want to say n equals 5. I'm now writing in bash. So while n dash lt5 do say okay echo my Boom. Oh, this keeps interfering when I want to save my. So this is a bash script. You should also learn how to write bash scripts, but that's not for now. Let me save this. I don't know why this is intro sheet. Let's get. So now look at this. This is this our say. If you look at this our say, it's appearing in white, which means I can't execute it. When it appears in green, that is when I can execute it. So if I try to run the same thing, /say, it will not mind me, .sh. It's not minding me. Why? It's saying permission denied. Now, if I want to have that permission, you see in Ubuntu, I can really do all of this. I can now say chmod +x say .py, and it's now executable. ls. So now when chmod -x say, so ls -la. Now look at this. If we can trace that, okay, this is say. Did you see that we can read, write? We can read, but we cannot write or execute this file. No, this is test. I'm working on, okay, this is the say.py.sh, right? I don't know if you can see the permissions we have on that file. Write, read, write, but we can't execute it. So if I run, let me clear my screen. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm trying to show you. Hello?
We're here, sir. We're here, sir.
So if I try to run this, it's saying permission denied because I don't have the permission to run that. But if I want to have the permission, I'm going to chmod +x say.py. If I run this now, and I'm going to do ls.
Pardon, sir, I have an interrupted network.
Don't worry about permissions. We'll do that.
Hello, sir.
We'll do that extensively. Yeah. Okay.
I said, pardon, I have interrupted network. I couldn't see your slide. I couldn't see your screen.
Okay. What will happen is we'll get back to that. Is a concept we'll do later. We'll get back to that and discuss them extensively. Okay. Yeah. So I've changed the permission. Okay, yeah. If I do /say now, it should run ls /say. It should run ls vi say. Why are you not saying what you're supposed to say? Okay. I see what is happening. Okay. I see what's happening. It was my code was wrong. Right. Escape. /say. /say. Maybe I say echo What's happening? What's happening? Echo. Hi. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll fix this. I'll fix this. Why are you not doing what you're supposed to do? I'll fix that. So, but what I just wanted to show you is the fact that I'll fix that. I don't want it to really take my time. I'm not here to debug Bash. So what I wanted to show you is that
Sir, I see you're using echo. Please, what does this echo mean? What does this echo mean?
okay, echo means print. Like if I say echo, my name is Mike, it will just say my name is Mike. Echo, how are you?
I think what it means is it just repeats the word, right?
Yeah, it means print, show, display. But the print is the right word. That's what you hear more often in the coding word. It means display. So if you write a program and it gets to a point you want it to say something, it will say that stuff. Like in this case, I don't really know why. Let me try to. I don't want to start wasting time looking at this. While this is less than 5, do that, then n++. Done. This should go. This will go now. So why Oh, I see. Sorry. I see. Okay, it should work now. Oh, it should work now. So now from my program, I asked it to be writing I'm asking it to be writing that stuff many times. SK. Okay, so now it actually does what I want it to do, right? This is more like I just wrote the other program I wrote in Python in Bash, which is what we are learning. So here, instead of saying echo whatever I echoed, I'm going to ask it to just echo my name is Mike. So echo my name is Mike, and I'll save that. Okay. That's like say. So you see, this repeats, it behaves the way our PythonPy was behaving. But now if I do ls-la and I simply want, remember you can also do ls-la and restrict it to what you want it to list for you. So if you look at this, you see, this now has read writes the user, which is me. I'm the user, I'm the logged in user, and I will explain this concept of users and the group to you. User has read, write, and executes permission. Now, if I still remove that permission, chmod, let me assume whoever is going to be running this doesn't have the permission because it's a dangerous distance. He needs to know what he's doing. I'm going to remove that permission and say. So if I do ls-la, now run say, you find out that me being the user, because I grouped it into the first three, the first three is for the user, the second three, that's the middle three, is for the group, the last three is for others. So you see that I can read and write this file, but I cannot execute it. So if I try to run it now, say .sh, if I run it, it will say permission denied because I don't have the permission. So I'll need to take the permission, and because I can give the permission because I'm the owner of this file. If another person created it and he denied you permission, there's no way you're going to be able to run this program. So, but that was not what I was trying to explain to you.
So sorry, sir. Why would he deny me the permission and still give me the file? Why are you giving me the file when you're not giving me?
Okay, if I want
Kindly
to,
explain.
I can. Okay, now look at how Linux works. You know, you have your PC, which is your system. I have my PC, which is my system. So I have every rights over everything that's happening in my system. But now there's something called server. And server is what you're targeting as a cybersecurity personnel. Server is if you have a software like your mobile app, you know your money is not in your mobile app, it's in a server, which is the bank server, their database, right? So now
Yes,
this,
yes.
this server always comes in form of Linux terminal. It looks like this. Now, inside that server, we have some admin who, you know, is not one person, that not just one person is running EcoBank or First Bank's server. They have a team of engineers. They have the senior engineers, the security expert, the software, the backend, and so many of their many there. Now, there are some files that your rank or whatever your level is does not permit you to touch. And the way Linux works is that Linux will have a central system, just the way I have this. I'm telling you users. That means there's something I can do, although I'm not running this on web. And this is how servers and where you host your applications look. There are some stuff that we do that I'll be able to service this. I can log in with my system and access this server. You can log in with your system and access this server. Another person can log in with his system and access this server. So if I own this and I don't trust you, I can ask you to come and work on my code, but I will deny you the permission to run the code because you can enter a non-trusted code that will do some stuff there. So I want to make sure whatever you are doing, I verify it before running it. So with that, I will deny you execution permission. I can also give you a file to have a look at. I deny you write permission because, you know, in Windows, when you are looking at a file, you can mistakenly go and type in another stuff, or you can go and enter whatever intentionally. So if I don't want you to write, but you just to read the file, I can give you read permission. I can also give you execute permission, but deny you write permission. So that way you can read the file, but you can't run it. I don't know.
Okay, so this is just to ensure the integrity of the file.
Yeah, it's for integrity. You see, I couldn't do it when I was on Windows, but I came back to Linux and started doing it.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So for integrity and control, that's So I've denied myself this permission. I've denied myself that permission. So now we have the user can read, write, and execute. We have UGO, just know it as UGO. The first three talks about the permissions a user, which is the person that is creating the file, has. The admin, which I am the admin of this my own this thing for now. I can create users. I can give you permission to run this my system. I can give you some SSH and allow you to SSH from your system into this particular system and run it here and do some stuff. But we've not started treating SSH and JWT, all those stuffs. They are still advanced. And these are more like what developers do more, although cybersecurity experts also need to know more about them. So that's that. So now the first three talks about the permission the user, which is the person that creates this file. I can also change the owner and give out this to another person. The person can deny me permission. The first three characters, which is read, write, and execute, talks about me as the user. The next talks about the group, because we can create a group of maybe a group of everybody that is of a backend engineer falls within that group. So we have the same equal permission. So the rights that the group have is what this second one, arrow dash. So once it's dash, it means the permission is not there. So the group can read and execute, but they cannot write, they cannot alter my file. Now the others, any other person that has access can also read and execute, but cannot alter. But I can also change those permissions from here if I wish. So that's that. But let me check. Our time is because I wanted us to just spend 2 hours. So now you know about